I mean, I think, in the chat, Drew said that Kasha was just good, which I think that's a good one. I mean, we're all surprised with Kasha this year. And he said the injuries were the big disappointment this year, which is fair enough. I mean, he said they never thought that we'd get decimated so much, but putting Richie up there, you kind of have to. I mean, he's an easy target, right? Because we all expected him to have his breakout season. It's almost the same as I said with Jakob Silfverberg before. We all hope and believe that he could be a 25, 30 goal scorer, but he just hasn't got there. And we all hoped that Nick Ritchie could fulfill his potential after getting drafted 10th overall, and he hasn't got there. So the disappointments just kind of to stack up season after season. And for me, it just gets slightly less disappointing each year because now we kind of know what we're going to get from them.
Yeah, I would go ahead and give the offensive C this season. How about you?
Yeah, it's tough because I hate grading it because I want to be positive and give them a better grade, but I think the inconsistency, taking out the injuries out of the equation, and the fact that some guys just didn't perform well this season, I feel like I'd give them probably. I'd go a little bit higher to say like a C plus because I was impressed with guys like Rickard Rakell having another 30-goal season, improving on his career
Thanks, Ryan
highs.
Getzlaf.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you got to give him some credit as well.
No,
Ryan Getzlaf coming back,
true.
and if he played a full season, probably having a Hart Trophy type season, and then Andre Cash and Adam Henrique being guys that we thought did very well, and even Derek Grant was a surprise this year in the type of production that he had, and of course that comes a lot with where he was slotted in the lineup during the injuries, but I would give him a little bit higher in a C plus because I felt like there were some guys that did surprise me a bit.
All right, let's talk about Bob Murray and the exit interview quotes, Eddie. Some interesting things have come out, as it happens with every team. You find out the injuries. Some players get the comment about how they feel, what's going on, going after the season. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with Murray's comments on Perry? And those are kind of funny.
All of these. I have something to say pretty much about all of these because some of them were just so ridiculous. I couldn't believe that he had actually said them. These Perry ones that we're going to start with are some of the worst ones, I think. The quote was, it's the one that I pick out here, is where Murray said that he's got to buy into playing fast. We have a few more than him that have to buy into playing fast. I don't know. I mean, how is a guy like Corey Perry, who's been struggling season after season, just going to all of a sudden buy into being able to play fast? I mean, what player have you ever seen buy in? It's been a slow guy who's bought into playing fast and is also just a fast player. I don't know. That comment is just weird to me. I don't know what you think.
I don't really know if you can buy into playing a fast game if you can't skate to the puck.
Yeah.
I think that's a problem. Maybe we're misunderstanding Murray, or his comments weren't, I guess, articulated the way he wanted them to be accepted, because it didn't sound like he knew what he was saying. Because, and I'm not trying to bash the guy, because like I said, maybe he just didn't have the correct words. But I mean, you got to have quick players to play quick hockey. Because he even goes on to say this about the Sharks. He says, "Are Logan Couture and Pavelski really fast skaters? Are they? No, they're good at they're good hockey players. But if your team plays fast, you can make players faster, and that's the first thing that has to be addressed around here. You need fast players to play fast hockey, Bob. I'm not sure what you're talking about. The defensive side of things, I think our team is fine. Mm-hmm. I have no problems with Manson's speed, Montour's speed, Cam Fowler, obviously, and Hampus Lindholm. They're not the fastest defensemen, but they're really mobile players. So they're the ones who should be leading the offense when you drive the offense out of your defensive zone. And, you don't have to make an 80, 90-foot pass. You can make closer passes to your forwards and get offense moving. I don't know what he's talking about. I would love to see how he can make Corey Perry faster. I don't think anyone can. I think even if he had 2 rebuilt knees, I don't know if that would help him. It's just not his style of game. He's never been a quick guy, even in his heyday. But it'll be interesting to see what Bob Murray does.
Yeah, I feel like he just didn't articulate it well, like you said, because you can make. We talked about it during the post-game shows, I think, multiple times, where we said this team could be a faster team because of the guys they have, especially the mobile defensemen they have in their top 4, and some of the guys up front in Andre Cash, Adam Henrique, Jakob Silfverberg, Andrew Cogliano, Rickard Rakell, all those types of guys. Those are guys who could play a faster type of style, and I feel like maybe what he was meaning is that, they could carry the pace of play and essentially carry Corey Perry in a faster style. He's not going to be a faster player, but they're going to be able to carry him because they're going to push the pace of play for the Ducks and make things a lot easier for him. Maybe that's what he meant. That's what I would hope he meant, because I really hope he doesn't believe he's just going to hope that Corey Perry buys into being a faster player and is just going to all of a sudden skate faster because he buys into the style. I hope that's not what he means. I mean, he brings up, like you said, Logan Couture and Pavelski. I feel like they're definitely faster skaters than Corey Perry. I mean, they're not slouches. I mean, they're not slow guys necessarily. They're not lightning speed like Connor McDavid, but I feel like they're definitely quicker players. And you look at the Sharks lineup as a whole, they're a faster team. And they have a lot of young guys, or some speedy guys, especially in Timo Meier and Marcus Sorensen, who burned the Ducks on 3 occasions in the playoffs. And they're built to play that way. But I think the Ducks have the guys in their system and the guys coming up in their system where they play that style of hockey. But saying that Corey Perry is all of a sudden going to be a faster player next season if he buys into a different style is just ridiculous.
No, I agree. I mean, like you said, we've named off fast players before. I mean, Gordon Bombay in our chat says we're not that slow. It's just a sorry-ass system we're stuck in. And a lot can be said about that. I mean, look what happened when the Pittsburgh Penguins changed their head coach.
Yeah.
Right? Going from Mike Johnston, right, to Mike Sullivan. And I think I have those names correct. I always confuse the two of those guys. But they changed that. They changed the way the forwards come in and how deep Sidney Crosby had to come back for a pass from a defenseman rather than being able to skate in the neutral zone. He came back almost into the defensive zone, or deep in the defensive zone rather, to get the puck. So, yeah, you can make system changes, and they're going to need to. But that also goes into what we got from Mike Coppinger's article that he put out saying the plan doesn't necessarily involve acquiring quicker players. Bob Murray pointed to the attacking style the Sharks used and said he would like to use or I'd see the Ducks skate in a similar fashion. Okay, there it is. There's the system issue. That means less passing between defensemen at the blue line and overall playing beneath the faceoff dots. I don't know why he doesn't like the D-to-D passing, because that's very common. That helps move the puck away. That also gives you a chance at finding an open lane and getting a pass fired up rather than forcing a pass up a wall to a player that's being well defended. Pretty interesting as to why he would say something like that, but I agree they need to change the system. That further goes into another question, is what the hell is going on with Randy Carlyle? How is he? Is he just going to be told to change how he runs his team? They didn't fire. They let go of Trent Yawney. They didn't re-sign him. So what is the deal? And where are they going to change the system? Carlyle keeps his job, and now Bob Murray is saying we need to change how the coach is going to be coaching this team. I have no idea what that means. I mean, is this just something that what does that even mean? It doesn't just happen like that. You bring in a coach for a certain style of play. Am I incorrect?
Yeah, and we haven't seen any talking points during the regular season. Any positives where that he's going to change his style or he has another style up his sleeve. I mean, we saw the same Ducks team arguably for the entire season the way they played. There was no changes. We talked about it in the postseason how the Ducks just couldn't change the way they play to counteract what the Sharks were doing. And I feel like the Sharks changed the way they were playing to match the Ducks style of play because they knew that was going to be coming out their way. And yeah, the Ducks made it close in the last game, but they were still playing the type of hockey that had been successful for them in the regular season. They didn't really change anything up. So yeah, I don't see how it changes. I don't know how you can say you're going to change the system of this team and the style and make them a faster team, but we're still going to have the same coach who played the dump and chase style, the heavy hockey, and now all of a sudden he's just going to come up with this new style that he somehow has the capability to coach that he couldn't do during the regular season. I don't know. I mean, it makes no sense to me. Again, I feel like he's just getting the pass based off the injuries, and maybe they just don't want to fire him. They didn't just say, well, we can just let him go at the end of next season because we just won't extend his contract. It's such a weird situation for me because he says he has confidence in him, but then he says he wants to completely change the style that the Ducks play currently. I don't see how that's having confidence in your coach if you want him to completely change his coaching style.
I'm in the same boat as you. I'm very confused. Chase says in our chat, if Carlyle doesn't change the system, will he be out by Christmas? Well, he's going to change the system as to what Bob Murray wants. But whether or not it's successful will remain to be seen. And, I feel like if the Ducks are healthy and have a start the way they did this season, you could look to be seeing as Carlyle one of the first coaches being fired. I would think this window, Bob's not dumb. He's just not a dumb guy. I know everyone is on him, and we've made comments about him too. He's made a lot of great moves for this team, and I think one of the incorrect ones was bringing back Randy Carlyle, and he's going to have to get rid of Carlyle. But, I mean, at the same time, Eddie, if you fire a guy and then you bring him back and then you fire him again, how long until it's your turn?
Yeah.
How long until Bob Murray is the guy? I mean, he also put in his quotes, in today's hockey, you can't just play 4 or 5 defensemen and 9 forwards. He believes the fourth line should play between 10 and 14 minutes, and because they routinely only played a handful, 5 or 7 minutes. And he also commented at the end of this that goaltending tends to cover up a lot of crap. But right there, for me, it shows that he's not a dumb guy, and he realizes the changes in the league. But how long until it's his turn if he has to fire the same coach again?
Yeah, again, it comes back to the point where he criticizes all these things that are clearly coaching decisions. I mean, we talked about the style of play. Then he talks about the fact that he wants to see the fourth line play 10 to 14 minutes instead of 5 to 7. That's a decision on Randy Carlyle's part to play the fourth line only 5 to 7 minutes a night. And then good goaltending covers up a lot of crap. And all that crap is what Randy Carlyle was able to produce from this hockey team. But then he'll come over in a different quote and say that he has complete confidence in Randy Carlyle and that he hopes that he can field a healthy team for him next season and see what he can do. It's so weird because the comments and the different quotes kind of contradict each other. And I feel like, again, to your point, if he fires him this year, he's kind of admitting defeat. And it was his fault. He's admitting guilt for that he was wrong for hiring Randy Carlyle in the first place. And that it didn't work out, and giving him maybe this last season essentially to see if he can turn things around and basically, from what he said, completely change the way he coaches and play a different style. I feel like it's almost just a way to save his ass, essentially. He, like you said, if he fires him now, the fault's on him. If he lets him go another season, you've got a lot more people blaming Randy Carlyle, and maybe he escapes with his job after Randy Carlyle is fired.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting to see how this system's going to change, if it does at all. But, I mean, you could look to see Randy Carlyle being a guy on the hot seat next year if that's the case. A couple more things here on the exit interviews to kind of round him out. Kevin Bieksa saying he was disappointed, and him not being played was not a good-looking move. Him not playing hockey, and I know, man, I even said it on Twitter. It's kind of like we bash this guy. I try not to be too harsh. He's a professional athlete. I mean, he was good in his prime. I mean, of course, he's not a number one defenseman, but in the league in his heyday, he was a good defender. Yeah. He was a reliable guy. He's just he's a really nice guy, by the way. Met him. He's really cool. It's like, I'm not trying to kiss his ass, but at the same time, it's like he gets a lot of heat. And he played minutes he probably shouldn't have played. But those comments are very telling. You will almost have to guarantee that Kevin Bieksa will not be back at an Anaheim sweater next season.
Yeah, and I feel like people are probably happy to see those comments, honestly, because we thought that he could realistically be back for like a 1 year, $1 million type of deal, just a veteran signing to have that veteran presence back on the blue line. I don't know if I was surprised by his comments, but I'm surprised he voiced them in the way he did at the exit interviews and kind of just threw some shade at the Ducks, saying, that he was disappointed and it wasn't a good-looking move by keeping him out. It's not like having him in the lineup, from what we saw, really changed anything. I mean, him in the lineup versus Welinski in the lineup, it looked pretty much exactly the same. There was real no difference, and that's not a good looking. That's not a good look for him either. That a kid who has relatively no playoff experience comes in and does basically the exact same job for you, which wasn't a great job to begin with. That's not great on him, and then for him to come out and do this at the end of his tenure in Anaheim. It's a little bit bitter on his part, I think, and it sucks because, like you said, he is a good guy, and I understand why he's disappointed. He's a guy who competes hard and he wants to play those important games for the Ducks, but it's not like the play he had on a consistent basis really showed that he deserved to be in those positions, and I think that was one of the reasons he didn't play. He didn't prove that he was going to be a valuable piece for the Ducks in those important games, and that's why you have a kid in Andy Welinski who takes his spot in a elimination game in game